Welcome to the Hamumu Halloween Home Horror Hoedown, the podcast where we watch scary movies so you don't have to.
From award-winning to completely unknown, we take them all way too seriously.
I'm your host, Mike Hommel.
And I'm your host, Solange Hommel.
Now, warning, we use a ghoulish number of spoilers, so watch the movies first.
Second warning, we don't know anything about anything, so don't take us seriously as we take these movies seriously.
Do you see The Watchers?
No. Do you see The Watchers?
No, duh.
What?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Huh.
I'm not supposed to talk about The Watchers with people who can't see The Watchers.
It's like Fight Club.
Yes. There's a little bit of Fight Club vibe in this.
Is there?
I mean, in the sense that I had no idea what was going on and the narrator was somewhat unreliable.
And the narrator didn't know either?
Yeah.
Well, our movie was called Intersect from 2020. And
Is that what's wrong with this movie? That it came out in 2020? It's a COVID movie.
maybe, well, they were all outdoors and interacting with each other.
I mean,
But it came out in 2020, so they didn't know what was going to happen. They were,
Oh, okay. So full disclosure, and I never do this, but full disclosure to our dear listeners, at the end of this movie, I had to open IMDb and see what other people said about it because I was like, I have no idea what I just watched. Like, what just happened?
Well,
And
the ending, especially.
the whole thing was like, I was like, am I missing something? Is there something going on here that I'm just not getting? Because it feels like it thinks it's very important. And I'm like, I'm not seeing the importance here. Anyway, one of the things that somebody said was like, oh, is this what's going to happen now that COVID is happening? Like that real movies, I'm saying like real with quotation marks, like with, big names and money and all of that. If they're not being made at the same rate that they were being made pre-COVID, are we now like to fill the gaping maw of the audience?
It is
Are we
gaping.
just shoving anything that anyone has ever recorded down people's throats? And I do remember that in like 2020 and 2021, a lot of what we
Yes.
were seeing on TV was like movies that never would have made it before, or reality shows that had been filmed like
absolutely
5 years before that they were just pulling out of the vault.
I don't know about movies, but I do know they literally pulled so many shows out of the vault. Like there was something, I might be making this up, but there was like a quiz show or something hosted by Rob Lowe. And it was like, wait, what is happening here? And it was obvious that it had been filmed years before.
Yeah.
It was crazy, all the weird things that they were just like, well, we got to put something on.
Yeah. And it does have that feel of like this movie would not have done what it did, would not have gotten where it got if not
Onto
for
the Roku
fact.
channel.
Well, somebody in the comments was saying that it almost got like a theater presence.
That would have been something.
I don't think it did, but they were like, it almost did, which should not have, to be clear.
Yeah. This was not a highly polished, it was a low budget movie. Like good or bad, it was not high end production.
Yes. It felt, and again, I'm taking from something someone said, like all of these things that people said on IMDb helped me like figure out what it was that I didn't like about it.
Helped you go along with the crowd,
No,
not have your
it
own
helped me like
thoughts.
put words. I was like, why does looking at this movie bother me so much? Like I was annoyed by the visual aspect of the movie.
Yeah, the way the imagery looked was just not good. Like it was somebody's home movie, but it didn't look like a home movie, but like that kind of not good quality.
Well, and that's, somebody pointed out, like everything was, it was one of the more, some of the reviews were just very much like, don't bother, like there was no thought put into them. This one was thoughtful, and it basically was like what we say often where we're like, oh, I think this person is on the wrong side of the Glass gap right now, right?
Yeah.
Like they know what they're supposed to do, but they don't have the eye for doing it skillfully yet. And that's what they were saying about this movie, is that like, and the visual thing, the thing that made me realize, oh, that's what was bothering me, is that the color correction was all wrong.
Yes, that's what it was. It was very, I don't know, garish and weird.
Garish is a great word for it.
Thanks.
The contrast was just so bizarre. It almost looked like on Facebook or on social media, people will put their like avatar photos through some stupid AI program or something, and it'll come out all like color corrected incorrectly, where there's like these deep contrasts between the outlines and the not outlines in the image.
Oh.
And it felt like that.
I mean, this movie really had some serious contrast, to the point where there'd be scenes that just looked like green screen scenes because the background was so sharply cut against the person.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Yeah, it was very unsettling.
So now that you guys know what the movie's about...
Do we know what the movie's about?
Yeah,
okay,
we do.
Tell me what the movie was about, because I'm confused.
This movie is a melodramatic rom-com about...
Yes, it is.
This movie is a Korean soap opera about this couple that knew each other since middle school, I guess, but didn't get together, even though obviously they were together until just now. Like, apparently, like...
Okay, to be honest, that was one of the most unrealistic things about the whole movie, is that the plot is predicated on the idea that this guy and girl became friends in middle school, and then for the next 15 to 20 years, she's pining after him and he's got her in the friend zone. And I'm like,
yeah,
really? That's how that's gonna go?
Yeah.
I do want to be clear, though, that this movie is neither Korean
It's
nor
not Korean.
a soap opera, nor a rom-com.
It is a soap opera.
Nor a melodrama, but it really does read like all of those things.
There were so many parts where I laughed out loud just because, like, nothing that was happening was wrong. It was just the presentation. Like, all of a sudden, he's running through the rain and she's catching up and going, no, we can't keep doing this.
In black and white.
In the rain, heavy pouring rain, they're having this conversation of, no, it's too much.
Okay, this part was because we watch movies with subtitles because we're old, but
we are. Every
time, I was actually really grateful because they did not do a good job of using like location, appearance, whatever, for you to know when time had shifted. Yeah. Like the whole movie is taking place in reverse. Like
pretty much.
We join our intrepid hero in the current day, and then he keeps having flashbacks further and further and further back in his life. And we learn more and more and more about how he got to where he was when we met him, which was completely unnecessary. We did not need to tell this story backwards. This was not like Memento.
Yeah.
Right? But I was really grateful for the subtitles, that every time a time shift happened, the subtitles would say flashback sound.
Yeah, flashback sounds begin or something.
Yes. And I was like, oh, good. Thank you. Because he looks exactly the same in time B as he does in time C.
Until he became a teenager.
Yeah, but then even then there were a couple of flashbacks where they were using the same child actor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're going to tell me that this kid when he's 12 looks the same as he does when he's 16? Not true.
Not true.
So, yeah, it was frustrating. I'm sorry. I think I distracted you from saying what the movie was about.
We don't know what this movie's about. There's a time machine.
Well, you were saying, okay, so there's this couple, they've known each other since middle school.
Yeah, and they're both scientists on the time machine because of Bill, who's probably Nate. And
no, we found out that wasn't true. I
we?
wanted it to be true. I don't think it was true.
I don't know. I think it's very possible that Bill is Nate or an alternate Nate.
I don't know, because Nate dies.
I know Nate dies. Someone in those comments you were talking about pointed out that as soon as they use the time machine for the first time, Bill has a heart attack and dies. And maybe that's some sort of connection that, you know, once he got that happening, he was done. But yeah.
Maybe, but like how? Because in the time period when the modern Nate comes back and murders his friend's little sister.
On accident.
I have so many problems with that scene. Anyway, and like scares his best friend because he comes back when he's like 12, and this adult man, scruffy looking guy who apparently
bashes their door down,
who apparently has been like bopping around uncontrollably through time for 13 years, breaks his door down, comes in, murders his little sister, and is like, don't forget, and then gets shot in the chest and dies.
Yeah.
Like, all of that is happening, and then immediately after that, or very shortly after that, is when he meets Bill for the first time.
I love that our podcast is exactly as disoriented as the movie we were watching.
Yes, it is. Nobody's going to understand.
But yeah, the thing is, it could go either way, that they had some convoluted way in which Nate was also Bill, or they just had two totally different characters that were just whatever. Because the writing process for this movie is just so out there. Like,
yeah,
it's very unclear what they meant.
Here's my theory. They just have two different people, but they should have made it that. The problem with that, and the reason I don't think that that could be Nate and Bill have to be two different people, because
Nate died before he got old with white hair.
Well, yes, because that could be possible if he had been hopping willy-nilly through time and like back and forth. But Ryan, we're traveling with Ryan. I mean, I guess it's possible that it was just him having memories.
Yes.
But it sort of felt like he throws himself into the time machine at the end.
Yeah, I think it's related. We haven't gotten into the alien creatures yet, but there's something about his mind being manipulated by the aliens, his memories being erased, and that's what we're doing. We're going through the memories.
And he only ever traveled in one direction.
Weirdly, yes, until he rewound at the end.
Yes, and thankfully the subtitles were like, fast forwarding sounds happen.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, good, thank you. So it breaks the very shaky internal logic that I might be forcing onto the movie to say that Nate is jumping around back and forth and like manage to go back and become Bill and then come forward and be like, I don't think that happened. But who knows?
Who knows? So yeah, there's alien creatures from another dimension that, according to some people like Nate, want to take over and enter our world via the time machine somehow. And they're manipulating things and controlling people to the point where Caitlin, as a child, Caitlin is the girl in the relationship
She's
of
the
the
Mary
movie.
Jane in the movie.
She's the Mary Jane of the movie. And as a child, she gives Ryan a present. And this is weird because where did she get her hands on this thing? It's a locket, which is huge. I would hate to have to wear that thing. It's a
right, as a teenage boy.
Yeah, it's like a marble inside a gold encasing. You can open it up and look at the marble, but it's no marble. It's magic. It's got swirly energy inside it. And so what is that? It obviously came from the aliens somehow, and yet she's giving it to him. So what does that mean? I don't know.
Well, and then it was like strongly hinted at some point toward the end that she was, at one point I was like, is she an alien in human form? Like she was only
possible.
there to like keep Ryan from drifting off path.
Yeah, because the whole thing is the aliens want to make sure this time machine gets made because it will be their portal through which they will enter our world and take over. So she is very much driving him along this path. So is Nate. Nate is big support system, beats up bullies with a 2x4.
Up until the time when Ryan is 12, that adult Nate comes back and threatens him and tells him he can't make the time machine that 12-year-old Ryan has not even had a glimmer of thought about yet.
I mean, clearly
he hasn't even met
made
Bill
it happen.
or Nate or Caitlin yet.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's just a lot happening here. And there's something about not just the necklace, but the box the necklace comes in shows up many times throughout the movie. Even we see at some point like tears pouring out of Ryan's face going into the box. And I think sometimes the other way. Yeah. Like like, so it's like the control of the aliens controlling him has to do with this box. And yeah, you're right. It doesn't make sense. Something is going on.
So when I saw that, I don't think that they were doing this, but it feels very much like there's some other piece of fiction that I have experienced in my life that is about, I think it might be a Doctor Who episode.
Of course it is.
Where like there are aliens watching and controlling humans. And the reason they're doing it is because they are feeding off of the emotional output that comes.
Sure.
Probably, I say it a piece of fiction. I think there are probably lots of pieces of fiction I have experienced that do this. But that the aliens, their whole purpose for being there is that they are like energized, entertained, fed in some way by human emotion. And so they like make human emotions happen so that they can like suck them all out of the humans.
And this movie had a lot of human emotions.
It did. And so many of them were like what an alien might think a human emotion is.
Yes, maybe that's part of the narrative.
So like it almost feels like they were like, if we put this girl and we like
this fake girl.
Yes.
Fake geek girl
is always around him, but like never gives him a really clear signal that he obviously feels like he needs. And so he's always just like on the verge of having an emotional connection with her. Or like they both have the emotional connections, but he's like always doing that little extra teenage angsty pining piece.
Yes.
I'm like, they've set this up so that like if they just get together, that's going to be a less volatile emotional feeding or something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, and then they murdered his sister and they
didn't.
But didn't they? Because they're the ones who like made his friend go bobbling through time.
Okay, they're not, because this is beyond implausible. Okay, so they're building the time machine. And they're doing these tests where they're trying, like, inorganic matter goes through it just fine. But they're doing tests with organic matter. And it's little petri dishes full of goo that they send through. And it comes back, molecular decohesion or whatever. No tachyonic syncopation is the problem, really, I think.
It is.
And it goes in and out, and it's bad. And they keep trying that. And there's a fun montage where they send it back and forth. And eventually it works, which is not a satisfying conclusion because there was nothing to it. They just kept going in and out until it worked. I mean, they changed numbers, I assume.
I mean, but they did it for a really long time because Nate was mad that they had spent hours on the same experiment. Like, have you met science?
Then they move on because that worked. So they start sending mice through, and that works. And then it stops working, and the mice are liquefying. And so they're like, oh no, it should be working, and it's not.
But Nate has a great solution.
Yeah. So he fiddles with the numbers. And instead of, I think they were back to doing petri dishes at this point because the mice were liquefying. Yes. So they're back to petri dishes, and he fiddles with the numbers and just sends a mouse through. And I'm like, no, you see if the goo works first. But no, he went straight to mouse. And then this is where it gets insane. He gets drunk one night and has an epiphany about a way that's going to make it work and puts himself through the machine.
Yeah. He's like, I'm done with all this like patience and trial and error nonsense. I fixed it. It's fine. And then he he takes off all his clothes and throws himself through the portal.
No metal allowed in the machine. I hope he didn't have fillings.
Unless it's the metal lid on a jar of marbles the very first time you use the machine.
Maybe that's what messed everything up for the whole movie.
Maybe. That's why Bill had his heart attack. That's why everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't...
Basically, none of it really makes sense. And maybe there's some deeper meaning that we're not figuring out.
I'm sure the people who made the movie or like who wrote this had things. Like, I'm sure there's more going on in their head. There were things, and they would be so frustrated that we didn't get it.
The stairs were in the drawer.
But they did not give us enough information to get it. And based on what I was reading, it's not just us.
No, it seems common to not get it. Speaking of not getting it, here's how the movie ends. There is a bully we haven't discussed who threatens Ryan throughout his childhood, and it turns out comes back later as a Christian anti-science man who's protesting in front of the time machine and saying that, God, he said, man has dominion over the earth, but that doesn't include time. So we're not allowed to mess with time.
And he goes like, this is a step too far, as if he and his evangelical Christian buddies have just been very tolerant of all the science that's been done up till now.
It was fine until they tried to mess with time.
This time machine was a bridge too far.
Yes. So he's protesting there, and then he ends up going inside strapped with bombs and holds Caitlin at gunpoint in front of the time machine. I think he's forcing her to turn it on. Oh, he is. Yeah, he forces her to turn it on, and he ends up going through the time machine covered with bombs and holding a gun. So obviously metal in the time machine. That's bad. It explodes, which mildly injures Caitlin. We were told before that it's the force of a thermonuclear explosion.
Okay, wait. It kills Caitlin.
It does, but barely.
I think your point is that it doesn't vaporize Caitlin. It gives her a head injury that she dies from.
She gets a bloody side of her face.
Yeah.
And that's the explosion. Then there's this creepy portal open with pointy things. And that's like, oh no, the aliens are coming through. And that is when Ryan thinks the best solution is that he's going to jump through this portal. And he ends up, okay, this is the ending that we don't understand. He ends up in some woods, which I think there was something going on that the spiny tentacles of the aliens really matched those dead trees that were sticking up.
Yes.
I don't know why, but that's a thing. He's in this empty field surrounded by trees, and I think they call that a forest. And sitting in front of him is the box again, the little box that the necklace came in. He opens it up, and there's a rolled up piece of paper that says, "Remember." And that's the end of the movie. Oh, and then he zoops back into time again, and we don't know where he goes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What's that mean?
The suggestion that I got was that he is now untethered and bopping around through time the way Nate was.
Definitely.
So does he become Bill?
Very possible. There you go.
We don't know. Like, there's that is not addressed in the movie. Like, that is just me trying to force there to be some sort of logic.
Except the way Bill acted, that doesn't make sense.
No.
Like, he was...
Well, he doesn't remember.
Oh, that's true. Wow. Yeah, his memory got wiped and he became Bill. Okay.
I mean, Ryan's whole, like his sister gets killed.
Oh, yeah.
And he completely blanks her from his mind in such a way that he can look at her birth certificate and it's just a blank piece of paper, or it's an uncompleted certificate of birth.
Yeah, there's no name or anything.
He looks at photos of her and that she doesn't exist in those pictures. Like, his brain is doing a whole thing. I assume because the aliens are helping.
I assume somehow.
Now, I use the word aliens, but I would like to address the fact
I have something to say about this.
That I was mildly tricked into watching what is most definitely a Lovecraftian horror film.
You say most definitely. I got it from a Lovecraftian horror list.
There were tentacle monsters in the sky. That is the defining factor in my mind.
Very vaguely, barely Lovecraftian. It was disappointing.
Okay, I don't like Lovecraft because always tentacle monsters.
Tentacles are great.
Because never know what's going on.
Not knowing what's going on is great.
Because main character is a dude bro who is problematic.
Dude bros are great.
This has all of the hallmarks of a Lovecraftian
people go
story
insane.
Yes, brains are not working properly.
Yeah.
And then that's supposed to be the entertaining thing, is like, haha, this person is crazy. And so now we're going to describe things in a way that make you feel like he feels. And I'm like, no, thank you.
No, thank you,
no,
the
thank
ocean.
you, the ocean.
Yes, that was my confession, was that I saw a video of 10 Lovecraftian movies that you probably haven't seen. and I gave you a choice of 3 of them.
They were all... That's... Oh, no. Our trust has been broken.
No, it hasn't. Sometimes you can choose.
Okay.
You always make me choose, so that's what I chose.
It's true.
Maybe you learned a lesson. Maybe that's what happened here. Remember.
No, this movie, I think that it described it in some, like on the TV or something, in the description. It said, entities from beyond, where I was like, oh, is this a space movie? And you were like, maybe?
I don't know where the entities are from. How could I know that?
So I knew from that what I might be getting into.
Mm-hmm.
But it was most definitely a poorly done Lovecraftian story.
Yeah. Space, the infinite inky blackness beyond the stars
where the tentacle monsters
where madness
live.
reigns. That's space. It's all fine.
That interpretation of space and time and reality just doesn't resonate with me at all.
In
Not at all.
2025, it still doesn't resonate with you.
No.
Not that the world is crazy and insane.
No, because in 2025, I look at the world and I'm like, oh, we are living in
Mad
a dystopian post-apocalyptic. I mean, we're not post-apocalyptic yet, but like
we're
the prologue of a dystopian post-apocalyptic fiction story, right? Like it's bad, but it's bad is always more like humans are terrible to humans, not there's alien monsters that are always, why are they always tentacled?
Because tentacles are so great. I mean, they like wrap around you and they get you.
I feel the same way about Cthulhu that I do about Christian God. Like, there's nobody floating around up in the sky waiting to like attack or put judgment on me.
Cthulhu's not pretending to be real. It's just a story.
But in these stories, he's real.
Sure.
In Christian stories, the Christian God is real. Like,
and
to
has
me,
tentacles.
It's the same. I'm like, basically, I mean, my point is that there's somebody floating around up in the sky that we should be afraid of. And I'm like, no.
If they've got tentacles, you should be afraid of them.
I think I put aliens in the same category. There's this whole like idea. There is a very human fear that something is going to come out of the sky.
Yeah.
And
that's a legitimate fear.
Judge us in some way.
Oh.
Why? Why is that?
Because that's where meteors come from, and they judge us harshly.
Is this generational trauma going back to dinosaurs?
Back when we were dinosaurs, we got judged very harshly.
I don't think that's how evolution works. I don't know. And now my storyteller brain is kicking in, and I'm like, wait, why do we as human beings have this like clear underlying fear of something sentient coming out of the sky and judging us? Where did that generational trauma come from? Now I believe in
trailer
aliens.
parks.
Trailer parks.
Mm-hmm.
No, now I believe in aliens.
Okay, well, they have tentacles,
I still don't believe in Lovecraftian Cthulhu monsters.
Well, I don't entirely understand your distaste for Cthulhu, but I don't know. Like, I get, like, Lovecraft was a terrible person, and his characters are the manliest of men, and they're all insane, so... like, that's not great.
They did try to like subvert that a little bit with Ryan. Like, he is not the manliest of men. He keeps getting beat up because he's too nerdy.
But he has a friend who's the manliest of men.
Yes. No, I think it's because the Cthulhu-like monsters are the vehicle that is used to demonstrate the insanity that these toxic men are experiencing. And so it's all lumped together in this like, gross feeling that I really don't like. I don't know. And then it put it into a movie where it's not well done and the time travel is garbage and the storytelling doesn't make any sense, which I'm sure they're always trying. I have that same problem with Clive Barker books.
Solely.
I know you get mad at me every time I say that, but like they are written in a way that is designed to make you feel a little crazy when you read them. And I don't like being gaslit by books.
Very evocative. Speaking of how ineffective the time travel was, their big demonstration to the press of their time machine was they took an hourglass, and you think hourglass, whatever, but it was just symbolic, I think. And they put it in their time machine, set to reappear 10 seconds in the future. And 10 seconds later, it came back out of the time machine like it could have been a microwave. Like, it goes in and it comes out after 10 seconds. There's nothing... Like, you could send it to the past or something.
That's the exact same time travel that all of us are doing all the time.
Yeah. It was just missing for a bit.
Yeah.
It was... I don't even understand how they thought they were showing something.
And that happened all the time, where
That's
a
what
thing
they
would
did
be
every
gone
time.
and they'd be like, it would come back and they'd be like, it came back exactly 10 seconds later. And I was like,
yeah.
Okay, but marbles can't tell you how long that they've been like,
Yeah.
What the whole point is that you're trying to figure out what amount of time passed while it was gone.
That's
for
why
it.
The hourglass could have been interesting. Like, they send it away for 10 seconds and it comes back fully dropped down.
Sure,
you'd be like,
but
oh
it
my
didn't.
gosh, an hour passed for the hourglass. No.
But it didn't, because they were only trying to have it be gone for 10 seconds. And you
And
know,
they succeeded.
an hourglass is notoriously the best way to track seconds.
Yeah. I feel like what they may have invented instead of a time machine was just like a collapsed tunnel. Because their very first test, they dropped the jar of marbles into it vertically, and 10 seconds later, it drops out the bottom. And like, okay, if it had been in a long tube, that would have happened. But they collapsed the tube in space. That's an amazing invention. It's not a time machine, but it's pretty cool.
No, it's really more of a teleportation device.
Yeah, it's like a storage facility.
Yeah.
It's a bag of holding.
Except that, you know, Nate went in, 10 seconds later came back out as in his
puddle of
pure
goo.
liquid form.
Yeah.
And here's a sketchy piece of science, forensic
Oh,
science.
I forgot this.
They
yeah.
test the puddle of Nate, and they're like, there's something about this blood that indicates that he was 75 years old when he died. And I don't think that's a thing. So somehow he went in and 10 seconds later came back 75 years older than he was when he
Right.
went in. There has to be some kind of device that they could have come up with. And I can't, okay, even an ice cube, right?
Yeah,
like,
send
put an
an ice
ice
cube
cube
in.
in and see what it looks like when it comes back.
Yeah.
Or like there's got to be something.
But if it's only going to be gone for 10 seconds, that's not going to help.
Except it might have been gone for 45 minutes inside, and then it comes
Yeah.
back and it's pure liquid form too.
Everything but Nate actually spent 10 seconds in the past or wherever it went.
We don't actually know that. What if those mice were liquefying because they came back and they were, 12 years old?
Well, yeah, but they didn't always. Sometimes they were fine.
That's true. It didn't make any sense.
You're right.
Should we do our reviews?
Yeah.
Ratings.
My review is, it didn't make any sense.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know whose turn it is. I'm going to go first. I have thoughts. I have feelings. I have expressed
You
most of them
definitely have
already.
thoughts and feelings.
This movie didn't make any sense. It was based on a kind of story that I don't enjoy. And
That you were tricked into watching.
I mean, that's fine. Whatever.
Oh, cool.
It's fine. I think it's BS that all three of them were Lovecraftian. That was sneaky. And that was a no-no because the other two did not look like they were going to be Lovecraft.
The monster at the bottom of the ocean? Come on. We can watch that next.
No, we cannot. Maybe we can. Anyway, a kind of story that I don't like, told in a chaotic way, without any of the developed skills one would like to see in a good movie. I want to say, I do think that people were trying to make a good movie. I think there was effort there. I don't think it worked very well. And it definitely didn't work for me for personal reasons. So I am going to give Intersect, a title which does not make any sense with this movie, by the way. 1.5 missing dads out of 5. It was disappointing, and I want to save other people from spending the time falling into this time travel machine that will suck away 2 hours of their life.
Right.
I don't know how long this movie was. It felt long.
It was 1 minute short of 2 hours.
It was long.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was a long movie.
So I was not a fan. Sorry.
You don't have to apologize to me because I wasn't a fan either. I agree with all the stuff you said about it. It was just not up to par. And I think the way they told the story was so badly done that it just, like, I like when movies are told in a nonlinear way, and this was a complete failure of that. Even though it was basically just straight backwards, it was almost incomprehensible, and it took like halfway through each scene to figure out what was even going on. And then it was also a Hallmark movie, mostly for the first half, not the whole thing. But crazy, just crazy weird. But here's the thing. I'm going to give this 2 missing dads out of 5 because, like, towards the end, I distinctly remember when we were seeing that shot of black goo in space that we have no idea what it was and it doesn't mean anything. And there was some voiceover saying something. I was like having deep thoughts and I was like, yes, indeed, yes.
Were you?
Yes, that's how I was. And I like movies that get you thinking. I don't know what I was thinking because I don't remember. The aliens took it from me. But
am I just here to keep you on your path that the aliens want you to be going
to
down?
make this podcast with
I'm
me.
just the Mary Jane of this, Mary Sue of this.
Yeah, don't get fridged. So I kind of enjoyed that. Like, mostly I didn't enjoy this movie. It was weird and hard to watch, but there was something where I was trying to piece together the whole movie as it was going on. Was it a fun mental exercise, even if it was ultimately fruitless? So great. Yeah. 2 stars for that.
One thing I did like is when we were in the like interspace area, outer space, I don't know where that space was, but it was something. And we were like traveling through all the like strands. They were like stringy, strandy kind of looking imagery. I did like that made me think of like neural pathways in a brain.
Uh-huh. See, great movie.
No, but it did, like, there was a moment there where I was like, oh, they could have done a thing. Like, they could be doing a thing here, but they didn't.
They couldn't even, like, name their time travel machine the Intersect system or something. That word never came up in the whole movie and doesn't have relevance to the plot of the movie.
No.
I don't know. Maybe it does if you're smart.
I mean, maybe. So, that's that. We watched that movie.
We sure did, and we're going to watch another Lovecraftian movie next week.
Ugh, maybe.
I like that there's a maybe. I don't know why there is. You can choose.
We'll see.
We'll see.
All right. I guess y'all find out next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you then. Bye.
What the hell just happened?
Did you see that fly into my mouth?
No, what are you doing?
It was a little bug. It flew in
Was
my
it a
mouth.
bug or was it like a piece of
I
dust?
think it was a bug.
That's upsetting. I'm sorry.
It was upsetting.